two jobs that were filled. One is Robert Saleh going to the Titans, and then Jeff Hafley going to the Dolphins. He was the former BC coach, wasn't he? And then he was the defensive coordinator of the Packers. Now he's the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. That's right. Yeah, formerly the defensive coordinator at Ohio State, then went to BC, then to Green Bay, now to Miami as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. So there's two more jobs that have been filled there. Also, there was a report out there, and this is something that's interesting. You had a report that if Robert Saleh got another job, he would kind of be interested in Mike McDaniel being the offensive coordinator. Now, I know that's been a conversation with the Browns about making him the head coach. And, last week or 2 weeks ago, I really thought that I predicted that he would end up with the Cleveland Browns, Mike McDaniel. Whether or not that's a good or bad thing, that's all in the eye of the beholder. Do you think that that's still one? Do you still think that's true, too? Do you think that that is what has made this change with Jim Schwartz and with Grant Udinsky here? That maybe a guy like Mike McDaniel would just go and be an offensive coordinator and build up his own market again as a hot commodity? Because you get two chances to be a head coach in the NFL in a lot of cases, but you usually don't get three. So you kind of got to be careful with the next job you take.
Well, so you'd think he'd probably, and I don't know for sure because it was a rough first half of his season, but you'd think you'd probably choose, like if you're looking at quarterbacks, right? And you're saying what? That McDaniel would be the OC in where? Tennessee. Then he'd be picking Cam Ward. Because if Cam Ward has one really good year next year, huge sophomore step ahead, that he would be up for head coaching jobs again.
You would. And that he would have.
You'd say that in Cleveland too, but he'd be looking at Cleveland going, who's the quarterback? And okay, Shador's there, but obviously.
But I think that they're looking at this. If we're getting turned down for anything, I don't think it's only because, and the things that's bothering me is that, Shador is keeping away guy. I don't think Shador stops anybody from coming here. I don't think that the quarterback room in general stops anybody from coming here, except when you look at what they can do in 2026. And what they can do in 2026, I don't think that they can really do much. And so I think a lot of coaches that they are interviewing knows that, yeah, you'll have an open mind, but by the end of the first year, you're probably not going to win a lot of games, and the fans are already going to be mad at you. Like, you could just restart some of the conversation that we just got done having with the old coach, with the new coach, because very few people are going to be understanding of winning or understanding of losing in year one as an NFL head coach. And whoever comes in, I don't expect them to win more than 5 or 6 games. That's not a good record. So that means people are going to be mad. And that means on a Monday, as understanding as I sound right now in January, yeah, there's going to be some Mondays where I'm red-faced and mad and angry and you're winding me up and doing all those things. Yeah, we'll do that. And that's what that coach knows going, well, you're already starting me behind this, that, and the other, and I got to do some other things here, and we just can't guarantee that we're going to be able to get another quarterback. Now, I ain't never going to be the head coach for the Browns, so I don't give a damn other than just trying to get better for a extended period of time and have some consistent success. That's why I'm over here going, no, I'm not making any of these crazy decisions just to get rid of our quarterbacks in our quarterback room for this coming year when I don't think they're going to be very good investments in the future. I don't.
Now, does it matter to Browns fans at all? Like, you're looking at the pool of candidates that are rumored or have interviewed once or twice or whatever, and that some of the preliminary guys that we were automatically linked to, it looks like either said thanks but no thanks, or we didn't interview for whatever reason, meaning, Chris Shulo was one of them. Kubiak was another. Clint, right?
Yes.
Clint Kubiak. Hafley was another one that was linked directly to us. Once the season ended and Stefanski was shown the door, and it looked like we didn't even end up interviewing those guys. Does that matter to Browns fans at all?
I think it should. I mean, it shows you. I didn't say it was a very desirable job. It shows you where the job is. If they're not willing to meet with you, so that changes what your expectations are in terms of the coach. That's why I think that maybe Grant Udinsky has kind of shot up the ladder here for a lot of people, because it's like, hey, he's 30. And I spelled it out. If you're 30 and you end up sucking up the room with the Browns, say you're 32 or 33 at the end of it, your career's not over.
No.
You've just made a lot of money. You'll go be an OC. Now, you've never called plays before, so I don't know how that works. It's not like, are they going to put you in charge of calling plays somewhere else? But you can still be a head coach again, probably by the time you're 40. Probably by the time you're that old. And you can make a lot of money doing this. but there's so many things that are stacked against you because you need to have a good support system. Do we trust the Browns have a good support system? Can I say that with a straight face?
I have one more does it matter to you question.
Yeah.
Does it matter to you that Grant Udinsky is not interviewing or has not been reported to interview anywhere else? 30 years old, has never called plays, and you're the only team interviewing him.
I think that my natural fear of being a Browns fan, yes, that would matter to me.
I just wonder. I wonder if it bothers the fans at all.
I would look at a lot of people where people were giving me hell over Udinsky, and I go, guys, like, you outbid the Giants for Hugh Jackson. Now, they didn't have a lot of talent on that football team, but I didn't think Hugh Jackson was a good football coach either. So you outbid him. I mean, they brought him in. Everybody clapped. They showed him getting off the plane. I mean, it was like Elvis had arrived on this football team, and they won 3 games with him over 3 years. So we can, and part of that, he can blame whoever else he wants. Part of that was definitely on him. So we've celebrated outbidding for coaches before. It doesn't mean that he's going to be set up for failure. I do think it's a little bit early, but if they're going, hey, if it's a little bit early and he's going to be a head coach next year, the year after that, the year after that, why am I hiring a guy who just might have more experience if I don't believe in him as much as I believe in this guy? Like, it might be time to think outside the box. I'm just looking at where the job sits in terms of how attractive it is. How many jobs are still left open? The Raiders' job's still open. Well, you have the number 1 overall pick there, and that guy played pretty decent last night. So that's obviously a worse job or a better job than ours. Who else is still open? Who can I think of off the top of my head that's still open right now? Owen, who else is open? I got us,
Ravens,
the Steelers.
Bills, Steelers.
Okay, Ravens
Raiders,
and
Cards.
Steelers and Bills. Okay, those are all better situations than what we have right now. Steelers is arguable, but then you're going to talk about your support system where you're going to go there and you're going to get 4 years before you even start to get judged. This ain't a great spot, man. And that's part of the way it's like it does. Because it's not a great spot, it should make me go away from Udinsky, but I'm going, who am I going to get that I can get excited about other than Jim? So it leads you to a 60-year-old, 59-year-old defensive coordinator and a 30-year-old OC. You are on complete opposite ends of the spectrum. I'm looking at guys who fans can get behind. Not just, I mean, you want him to be a good coach, obviously, but I also do want fans to be a little bit excited about the next guy that they're getting, don't you? I don't want to sit here and have to take nasty calls all day.
And I think, look, if they hire Udinsky, people will act excited because the hope is that they have the next McVay. But I think in the back of their minds, they know this is a huge swing.
Yeah.
This is a very risky hire.
But it would also be, if you took Jim Schwartz, you could look at it this way too. If you just said, okay, Jim Schwartz, we've interviewed everybody. Jim Schwartz is going to be the head coach. You could be looking at this in the middle of September next year, in the middle of October, I should say. You can give it a little bit of time and go, it's more of the same. It's just more of the same than what we've already had. So when it comes to a coaching search, I'm just trying to look at it as realistic as I possibly can. It's not the best job out there. It's still an NFL head coaching job. I don't think it's a horrific job. I think that the Haslams will do everything they can to be patient with you. I just think you look at it what it is. You have a quarterback room that's not the best. It's not easy to make moves for them. You have a roster that's not very great. You have to build. You probably have to build through the draft. It's going to take more time. You're going to put me behind the 8 ball with the fans. You're going to put me behind the 8 ball with the media here. If I have better options, I'm going to take the better options. Now, Grant Udinsky, this is the fast track to life-changing money. This is the fast track from being a guy who helps out Liam Cohen, who definitely has his hands in everything with the Jacksonville Jaguars and is very meticulous on that offense, to now you're the one in charge. And that is a scary scenario to a lot of folks. Scary scenario. Like, whoever they take, it's if they took Mike McDaniel, you'd understand it. I think there'd be some people upset about it, but you go, okay, he's the least offensive guy to the fan base, to themselves. He's schemed up running games before. You need to have a run game here. Maybe that'll be a little bit better. Maybe it'll be okay. Jim Schwartz, I think Jim Schwartz would be a guy who a lot of fans are excited about because he's led your defense. Your defense has been good. Grant Udinsky, I think I'd be excited about him because he's young, because it might be fresh ideas. It also, without a doubt, Tone, has the highest chance to be turning into a nightmare for